Mark Blythe. I live in York, but I work in Newcastle at Northumbria University. I'm a professor in the design department there, and I do design ethnography. Well, I work with Eric, and I was involved in writing the bid with him, and I was interested in the ways that technology is impacting on the way that we collaborate and the way that we do design work. And I've been involved for a lot of years in lots of different projects where I've been working with people who've been in different countries and different time zones, so it's something that I've thought about a bit, and yeah, it's interesting to me. Yeah, sure. So when I kind of first got into the area of ACI, my first job was working for Daewoo, a Korean company, and they were interested in different kinds of domestic technology that they might develop. So I was working on an ethnography of British homes for them, and communicating back. Well, it wasn't for them; they were a project partner of a university, but they were interested in the results, So we did, presentations with this kind of setup where we do videos, and I would have a PowerPoint in the back and sort of convey findings to them in that way, as well as writing reports which we'd email, and then eventually we went over to Seoul. And met with the guys there. But over the years there have been various projects where we've used different kinds of video conferencing suite. When the first video conferencing suite in York went up, we were using that immediately for a project that we were doing with Lancaster University, actually. And then as things like Second Life started to emerge, I found that that was quite a nice way to meet up with colleagues internationally. So there's some friends in America that I like to work with. We would go meet in Second Life, and they were great Second Life fans, and they would take me to interesting places there, and it was kind of a nice way to meet with those guys. And now recently it's things like Facebook and Google Hangout. Yeah. I think video conferencing is my least favourite. These kind of setups with the dedicated system. They're really clunky. They're really time consuming. You have to be in a particular environment to use them. Getting onto a university network is always a nightmare. I thought it was really interesting today that it was, even though this is a workshop which is about collaborating using technology and so on, it's still incredibly difficult for our host organisation to provide us with a guest Wi-Fi that works, and that's clearly always a challenge. I think Skype is just the most fantastic innovation. The fact that it doesn't cost anything, or it costs very, very little, is revolutionising the way that you can work with people. It's possible just to leave a kind of open ambient connection and not worry too much about whether you're actually talking all of the time. I think things like Second Life are interesting, but that's kind of died a death. I think the novelty of that was providing the impetus for a lot of work. So there was a conference in Second Life. I mean, there have been many conferences in Second Life, and initially people were very excited, but then papers began to appear which said, I'd rather have my eye teeth pulled out than ever do a Second Life conference again. And there's lots of different kind of difficult issues sort of with that kind of thing. But I think it's very exciting, and I think from what we've been talking about today, and the kind of fragmentation of working hours and that kind of thing, it's clearly going to increase.